next topic, that is the validation rule. Okay, so under validation rule, we are going to create some validation. So before going to that, what is this validation rule? Okay, if no one is having any idea, so validation rule indicates that we have to add some validations, right? Validations means if I am entering any data, so that data is valid or not. So we can add validation rule for those
Like
fields.
we entered @gmail.com in mail and
Like,
like we entered in Gmail we entered @gmail.com, so we can create validation for that.
yeah, but for email we have a specific email type data type, right? And if you are creating an email field with that email data type, so it will not allow. But suppose in a text value or in a text field, if you want to add a validation rule which will only allow the data which contains @gmail.com or @domain.com, so for that you can add a validation. Okay, or other type like uh, I am creating a record, but I don't want to pull. I want to give any past dated data. So in that case, it will not allow. Or suppose I am creating a I am creating a user record and I am giving date of birth as a tomorrow's date. Okay, because in normal date field we can put any values, right? But future dated date of birth we can't put, right? We are not aware like who is going to take birth on tomorrow, correct? So date of birth will be always either today or before today, not future dated, right? So we can add a validation rule so that no one can fill any wrong data in that, even though by mistake. So validation rule is having lots of things like even though if you want to make any field required, so you can also make through this validation rule. Okay. So how we can create a validation rule? So for creating any validation rule, we must have to go to the setup and then you have to search for the validation rule. One second, sorry. Go to that object manager. So each object will have their own validation rules. So I will just go to the user story. So under that user story object, here you will get option for validation rule. Here's the So here we have validation rule. So each object will have a separate validation rule. So for creating a validation rule for that object, we have to go to that object in the setting and then you will find out this validation rule tab. And after clicking on this, you will get option for new validation rule. Okay. As soon as I will select this new validation rule, so here you will get multiple options and you have to give any proper name of that validation rule. Okay, so if I will go to this status So for this user story, what we can give the example for date of birth is for the employee, okay, and on this user story, what functionality we can give for that validation, like this actual completion date is there, right? So here we can give some scenario, actual completion date. Okay, so here we can give one scenario. Actual completion date should not be less than this start date. Okay, suppose a start date is 4th, right? And for now, if I will go and update this actual completion date as 3rd of September, and if I will save, then it will allow to save, right? So for this task, a start date was 4th of September, but it got completed on 3rd of September. Is it possible? Yes or no? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the task start date was 4th of September. Okay. But actual completion date is 3rd of September. Is it possible? Can you close any
No, sir.
task before starting that on any specific date? It's not
No,
possible,
sir.
right?
No.
So it should be always greater than or equal to. Either you can close that task on that day or after that day, not before that, right? Suppose
Yes, sir.
I have assigned this task to you on 4th September, then how you can close it on 3rd of September? You can't, right? Because
No.
it's invalid data.
No.
So the data you are filling here, it's invalid. So for that, we can create a validation rule, which will not allow you to give the wrong data, right? But
Yes,
for
sir.
now, for current scenario, it's accepting the data, right? It's not throwing any error.
Yeah.
So for that, we can create a validation rule on this actual completion date. So let's go to this user story object and give a name like actual completion date should be greater than 2nd. Actual completion date. Actual completion should be greater than start. So here we have number of characters limit, so that's why it's not accepting. Let's give a short name here. Actual completion date validation. Okay, I'm just giving this name. Here we have option for activating or deactivating. It's not if it, I don't want to activate now, so I will just deactivate it. I will just keep in the system, and then once I will need it, I will activate. Okay, so under this error condition formula means we have to give a true case where this particular validation will fire, and on the below here we have option to give the error message, what error message I want to display. Okay, so here you can see if this formula express is true, display the text defined in the error message area. So in which scenario I want to display this error message? if actual completion date is less than the start date, right? So I will just add this. Here we have, I think we have already discussed these things under this formula topic discussion, right? So same thing applies here. Here we have insert field, insert operator, and all functions we have. So for now, I will just insert a field, and which field I'm checking this actual completion date. Insert, and I will just add operator if it's less than. Okay, if it's less than a start date. Where is the start date? Here we have a start date. Okay, so if actual completion date is less than this start date, then only it should fire. Even though if its actual completion date is equal to a start date, then in that case it should not fire, right? Because there might be possibility like that task uh, takes very less time, 2 or 3 hours, so we can complete on the same day, but not before that start date. So that's why I'm just adding a condition for less than only. Here we have check syntax, so we can check if it's valid or if there is any error. So here you can see no error found as of now, and this message will appear when condition meets true. If this condition will match, so in that case we have to display the error message on the UI. Here it will display on the UI. So I will just write error message like actual completion date should not be less than the start date. I want to display this error message. Okay, so actual completion date should not be less than the start date. Please check and give valid completion date. Valid actual well, actual completion date. Okay, so I have added this error message, so this error will display. Now where exactly I want to display this error message, so we have that flexibility as well. So here you can see this error message can either appear on the top of the page or below the specific field. Like if I will save it, so on the top of page it will display on the top section, or we can also display on the specific field. So for now let's add on the field here, top of the page. So let's try for this top of the page, and post that I will just update this to the field. Okay, and save it. This validation rule got created, but it's not active. So if it's not active means it will not apply. So if you want to get it applied, so we have to activate this validation rule. Okay, so validation rule we have created. Now let's go to the record and try to update this field. So here you can see a start date is 4th September. Now I am giving the date as 2nd September. So in that case, it should not allow us to save this record. So here you can see this validation rule. But before validation rule, it was allowing, right? And here now it's not allowing. And what is the validation? Actual completion date should not be less than or less than the start date. Please check and give valid actual completion date. So whatever the error message I have given, so that is displaying as error message. So here we have to write a proper error message for each validation row. And if you want to change that error message, so you have to go to that validation role and then update this error message. Okay. So here until unless you will update this value, it will not allow you to save this record anyhow. It will not. See here, whenever you will save, it will always throw that error. So for that, you must have to change this date. So either we have to provide that a start date or any future date on which you have completed that. If I will save it, now it will allow us to save it. Okay, it allowed for a start date as well, because in condition I have added it should not be less than this start date. Even though if I will try with third, it will not. Okay. So this is the error message. It's showing on the screen. Okay, but if I want to display this error message on that specific field, so here we have option for this field. Just select this box, and here we have option to select on which field you want to display. So whatever the field you will select, so that error message will display there. So this rule is for actual completion date. So I will throw the error for actual completion date and save it. Now I will just come and refresh this record, and I will try to update this actual completion date as yesterday. I mean on for third, and save it. So here you can see that error message coming here now. Right? That error message displaying on that field. If I will add that error message on any other field, so it will display there. Like suppose I am adding as a status, okay, and I will save it. So it will throw that error for that under this status field, not actual completion date. Let's try. See there, that error message is coming here. Actual completion date should be less than or less than the start date, which is not valid, right? So every time if we are displaying that error message, so we have to display that to that specific field only, else it will create confusion. So we don't have to select wrong field for displaying the error message. We must have to use that the specific field where I am writing that validation rule. Okay. So I will just come again and I will update this actual completion date and save it. And if I will try it now, so it will throw under this actual completion date only. And if I will give any future dated, it will accept. it allows us to save it. Okay. Likewise, we can create multiple scenarios for this validation role. So you can do the practice on your own, and if you will stuck somewhere, then we can connect and work on that. Okay. So any doubt in this validation rule?
No, sir.
Okay.